pleased with how our guys prepared this week. You know, let's bring on KO.
That's all he's got right
I thought he
there.
was retiring.
You guys are an intimidating group, man. Just to give you guys some just updates, we'll have really 5 players go in questionable. Brian Asamoah, TJ Hawkinson, KJ Osborne, Chris Reed, and Justin Jefferson will both go in questionable. I'm going to evaluate where both those guys are at after some really good work kind of this week in their ramp up. And that'll kind of be our protocol moving forward. KJ Osborne, has really very quickly progressed through the protocol. He really just needs to, have the final phase of had a full workload today, completely full workload, and we'll see where he's at tomorrow after that. And then we'll make a decision about his availability for the game coming up. But Jaron Hall will be out. He is still in the protocol, and Dean Lowry is listed as doubtful, after being limited today.
Justin do anything more today, or is it just kind of a walkthrough basically today?
No, he was still part of individual and kind of ramped up a little bit, ball security, some of the things that we do, and just continuing to build. He's at this point, we're just trying to be smart and almost hold him back from doing too much too soon because of how good he feels. And it's going to be a true day-to-day process for him, relying on the medical staff. And I'm going to get with those guys, and whether it's for this weekend or moving forward, making sure that every single facet of that plan is calculated so that we can have Justin back as soon as possible.
Does the medical staff have to hold you back at all with Justin?
No, it's something that I'm well aware of. Just when it's really all of our players. My job is to make sure, whether it's KJ this weekend or how everything transpired with CD. Once he kind of had the late injury in the week last week, I'm always going to defer to the medical staff, and then if the decision does end up in some way, shape, or form up to me, I'm going to defer to player health and safety and making sure that I have all the information that I need to make for every single player. It's that whatever decision's made is in their best interest, not only for 4 quarters this Sunday, but hopefully for a lot of football moving forward for this football team.
Did Christian get through the week?
He did really well. I was able, to gain strength, early on in the week and then progress. We had him as a full participant today. Took every rep.
Kevin, how about Nick Mullins? How's he progressing?
Yeah, he's progressing right now. The biggest thing with Nick is just being able to handle the volume of throws when that time comes. Got picked up his workload this week, and we're really kind of in a day-to-day form, seeing how he recovers from a certain level of throws and movement to potentially come back and have a role for us. When that time is, I don't know. Jaron Hall is doing a lot better in the concussion protocol and phasing towards hopefully being a full participant next week, but like I said, he will be out this weekend.
Kevin, what has the process been of getting Tanner Morgan from PJ? How has that worked?
Yeah, it's been one where I first met Tanner at his pro day. Stood right behind him for about 70 throws and was came away really impressed. And then getting a chance to talk with him, PJ had spending some time with PJ. He had already talked to me about that this guy's going to eventually come and probably take all of our jobs. And then you get him around, and you just you can tell he loves football. In between his time when we do bring him back here, he's still doing breakdowns for the Gophers and making sure he's helping them. And it's definitely a process of making sure that he knows when he comes here he's a Minnesota Viking. And there's a reason why we feel like he can handle, coming and being a part of our team for however long that is. But we also want to be sensitive of his other obligations because he's off to a great start in his coaching career, and never want to, take away from that for him of what his future looks like in that regard.
Kevin, when players talk about buying into Brian Flores' defense, what does that mean, and kind of where does that show up that they seem to have completely embraced?
The buy-in, to me, it's that phrase, to me, it was the first defensive meeting he had in the spring. I was sitting in the back, and if buy-in is the term, I bought in as well. I fortunately bought in a little bit before that meeting, getting to know him through the process and previously knowing him. I think the biggest thing they understand is each and every week we are going to have plans that give us the best opportunity to have success. The best thing for me individually as a player, I know is going to be clearly articulated. The plan of how we're going to, defend really good offenses in this league every single week. It can reinvent itself, all while still being learnable and digestible for the players to go play fast. I think that's one of the greatest things Flo and his staff do. And then the communication that's there. I mean, they're making up for time maybe they did not have previously. They get together, Thursdays they get together. Once the day is done, the leadership guys kind of organize that. They spend as much time with each other as they can, both the whole defense, the leadership of the defense during special teams, and then ultimately, anytime they get out here on the grass, it's meant towards working towards preparing what we need to do to get it done on Sunday. They've been a huge part of our football team this year, clearly through this stretch where we found some success and driving force behind our team playing complementary football.
Kevin, is there anything that to the Saints defense and how they have all these takeaways, or it's just kind of
I think they're very well coached. I think they've got really good players, and I think they play really well together. Whether it's the front, the linebackers, the activity from the safeties, and then two essentially shutdown corners that with a nickel and Taylor that comes in and is physical and is real sticky in coverage. So they throw a lot of personnel groupings at you. You'll get 5 and 6 DBs on the field. It's not always a normal match kind of game where you can anticipate what the looks are going to be. And then when the ball gets snapped, they play incredibly hard. They go at the football. The secondary's gotten their hands on a ton of footballs, and the pass rush has been really, really significant to the point where they've drawn a lot of holding calls and people trying to hold up. So it's going to take maybe one of our best efforts of the season to have success and move the ball against those guys. And I think Josh is prepared. I think our group had a really good week of prep, and we're going to need it because it's going to be a heck of a challenge.
Circling back on your emergency quarterback decision.
Yeah, well, we've made some decisions. We've narrowed the list and kind of got some guys ready to go. Not necessarily in any particular order, but that list will probably stay with me for the time being. I know everybody's kind of on their edge of their seats with that, but yeah, we've got a plan in place.
Last couple. Third week in a row, you've prepped a different quarterback to start. What have you been able to lean on with the different skill sets and then the different opponents too?
Yeah, I think each week is its own, and Josh's continued growth. We still wanted him to take a mindset of the game plan, building off of some of the things from last week, maybe calls we didn't get to that he liked in the plan, and then kind of learning more about really where that comes into play is situationally, things he's comfortable with from one of his previous stops, and then me learning a little bit more about that, how it was coached, what it was called, and then trying to make sure that I prepare myself to kind of, just because it's been another 5, 6, 7 days doesn't mean that my responsibility isn't to quiet his mind in any way I can. I've got a lot of confidence in where he's at with the practice week he's had. We'll finish up that prep here with some good meetings. Make sure tomorrow we go through the whole call sheet and kind of hopefully red pen some plays. My favorite thing to do. Haven't been red penning a lot lately, so maybe we'll get a few tomorrow.
How enticing is his running ability, but then I guess how mindful do you have to be just the physicality of that and how much the depth of your room?
Yeah, I think it would be naive to think we can just reinvent our offense to drive through the running quarterback offense, reading everything and putting them. I've got a lot of confidence with the ball in his hands. Clearly, he's demonstrated that last week. But I think there's enough plays that can present themselves, and we've got a great game plan. We've got some good thoughts on how to best maximize Josh and our whole offense. And obviously we'll see more Ty Chandler. We'll see Alex and Kane and make sure we continue to build on what we've done in the running game. But it's an emphasis this week to run the football better. Be more efficient. We cannot start out this game backed up in our own end and without the ability to run it early on against this defense, I don't care if you're home or on the road, that's a recipe for more problems to come.
Last one.
Do you think the Saints would prepare for your emergency quarterback if you told them?
I think the Saints are probably just fine without that information, but still, it's more so to just keep you guys on the edge of your seat on Sunday. Hopefully, we don't need to find that answer. Thank you.